What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, von Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah? Keep listening.
We love talking in. It's fine. Carl Winslow, one of the greatest actors of all time, also one of the best voices of Shredder in the history of the Turtles.
And possibly the best.
No, never mind.
no.
Carl Winslow and James Avery are different.
Yeah, but Carl Winslow was on a Die Hard. He's the cop that has the Twinkies.
Yeah, sorry.
Classic.
All right, bring it back, Dragon. Hello and welcome to the Tuesday edition, as you can tell around here, of your show. Still the only live show from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday on YouTube in Saskatoon, and so damn proud to be able to say that. Margaret, please report to the stage. So whenever we hang out with our guests on the show on Tuesday, we tend to have some incredible conversations and or sing-alongs. That one was Family Matters. Just so you know. Maggie, come on. We gotta come pay the bills. Get up here. Come. Come on, girl. All right. We have to do this the old-fashioned way. Here I go. I'm going for it. Oh, you're lucky. Now she's moving. Come on. There it is. It is time for the Maggie Cam. Look at that. We're also, by the way, we like to make up categories and say we're number one. Today we're number one in the category of totally nailing an intro on YouTube. Number one. Number one. There it is. The Maggie Cam for our fantastic pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle, along with Leroy, always there to make your shopping dreams come true. If you go after hours or on the weekend, you'll see Kirsten, Shar, or Chris. And they are also there to make it the greatest shopping experience of your life. Maggie is a huge, huge fan to the point where we go about once every couple of weeks just to say hi and check in and make videos, as she is a video making star. Her adventures with Maggie, huge hit on the internet. You can check them out as we continue to show off and support the greatest pet store on planet Earth. That is Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Look at Maggie go. What a good dog. All right, so we already did the Family Matters thing. We already sort of showed everybody what's going on, but the All That Eggs boys are here. Here we go. Yeah. Now we're talking. How is everyone doing today?
Doing dandy.
El Dandy?
Actually really tired.
There's the real.
Well, I really want to be honest.
There's the realism.
It was a late night and an early morning and 4 cups of coffee. Now I got the jitters and, whatever. Can't complain.
Dude, like we always say, it all gets better once you get in the studio.
Exactly.
This is where it all just melts away.
Forget all your worries.
That's right. Sounds like another intro.
It does, yeah. We could make up our own theme song, maybe.
We do have a song on hold right now, still, that we have to put some lyrics to. That might involve a different day of sitting down and
I think we gotta budget our time for another day.
Absolutely.
We already got enough.
Things get crazy around here real quick. How are you? How are you doing?
I am actually really great. This was my 4-day weekend, so I'm like feeling good. I was telling Mike just before you came, like I actually kind of did some Uncle Mike stuff this weekend. So I changed
feel manly.
2 sets of tires,
Yes.
no big deal. And then we were doing some moving. Aaron's dad's, sold his condo or whatever, so stuff needed to be moved. We acquired a couch and some cabinets and whatnot, and that meant that one of our couches needed to get taken to the dump. But I'm there so much, so I'm just like, and I'm cheap, so I was like, I'm just cutting this thing up and throwing in.
Come on, what kind of chainsaw?
4-old circular saw from my dad. And like Erin with her knives was like cutting it up and like, taking the stuff out so we weren't like, cutting over nails and stuff. And then basically just in the apartment sawed it up into a bunch of pieces. I was saying it'd be funny, like if because Erin watches a lot of like those forensic file shows or whatever, but if we were doing like, the couch was found frozen to the the garbage can.
Pieces.
Yeah, its insides were in bags.
Somebody with serious mental illness tore this apart.
You're hearing those sounds, like being your neighbors, like, oh man, they're definitely chopping something up.
But so that was good, and then just did a lot of other fun. Got Ravenwich Jam on Friday. Wrote some great material, and we're kind of making our way as a 4-piece, so we're getting more comfortable with that sound, kind of redoing some old songs, writing new stuff, and it's feeling really good, and all of us are just really stoked. So it's nice to feel that energy
The
building
momentum.
up, and we're like,
Yeah.
all right, so getting to the point where not now, but pretty soon we're gonna be able to be doing shows again, which is nice. And then Sunday, Brian came in and we wrote a bunch of new Untimely stuff, and that's getting pretty close to tracking the drums for that EP. So all of that stuff, just it feels really good to get momentum. And then there's like an Into Eternity story on Blabbermouth, which is a big it's a big
I saw that.
and it says that we're writing our 6th album. I don't know where this all came from, but I'm like, sweet, my face is on a Blabbermouth
Cool.
thing. So yeah, all the band front stuff is good. And then today, I've been saying pretty much since I started the show, I want to go swing by Uncle Mike's and see the shop.
Yep.
And yeah, so I was out and about, and I was like, I'm gonna swing by and get some deodorant because I need some. And then yeah, Mike's like, yeah, you guys were just there yesterday, or yeah, there's.
Super secret projects
Yeah.
coming down the
Oh,
pipeline.
I guess I don't. They
No, it's good. It's
okay,
good.
yeah.
We've been promoting it, so
Okay,
it's
good.
totally okay. But it's also very, very, I guess, just makes me feel very happy and proud when stuff like this happens. When you start something and people start, joining whatever it is that you start, and then all of a sudden, guys who never met each other before are all like best bros. Like Royal Andy comes here every Tuesday, so we're all like,
Yeah.
everyone's buddies Royal Andy now, and just how this family sort of grows. And to have it turn into like business for friends,
And it's so
just
cool, yeah.
fun.
Like, because I was talking to Mike, and it's like I did a little post after going by, just saying, yeah, I got a bunch of swag or
yeah.
whatever. And then you start seeing it's like, oh, the drummer from Sacrifice liked it, or this really cool tattoo artist from Regina, who's like in some cool bands, he liked it, and you're just like,
I love
it's
that.
cool to see, expose my friends to my friends' businesses, and it just feels
That's what
good.
it is, man.
and-
That's what this whole network is. It's a way for us to all promote each other. And I really feel like we've knocked it out of the park in that every, not just business, but every show that's a part of this has embraced everybody here.
Oh, yeah,
It's not like you come here and it's like, oh, that guy's here. Oh, I hate that guy. There's none of that garbage. It truly feels like family. And when you're bringing in different advertisers and different shows and different hosts and different people from all different, walks of life, very rarely does it work in a way where it's all fluid. And around here, like we've done 5 shows today already. We did 5 shows, and it feels like we just got here. And just to be able to do stuff like that. By the way, Bamford & Co. shout out to Ryan and Greg coming by again this afternoon, doing a fresh batch of shows coming out. They got a new one out tomorrow, every Wednesday. By the way, Viewing Room. We got Dragon on the 1s and 2s today, my sweet, beautiful Dragon. He's co-host of the Viewing Room with my sweet, beautiful LB. What's going on with the Viewing Room, my friend? Want to holler at your boys?
Yeah, I need to apologize.
Oh, no.
Should I go on the mic?
I've been waiting years. I tell you, get on the mic all the time.
Oh.
Nothing pisses me off more than when he's off the mic.
This is great.
This makes me so happy. We don't have our headpieces, so we can't hear him, but it's okay.
Okay,
Talk
can you hear
to
me?
us, Goose.
You good?
You go ahead. We can't hear you. It's all good.
I'm gonna
You
pretend like
can't
I
hear
can.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to apologize because yesterday I came on the show and I said that Ghostbusters was coming out today. That was a lie. Ghostbusters comes out next Tuesday. Today we released Emperor's New Groove.
I had a feeling they were mixed up.
Just a second.
Spit take. I was wondering why you were doing a Halloween movie the week before the Halloween week.
Well-
Especially with all the spooktaculars we got going on over here.
We do have The Shining that we're gonna do an episode on later
Okay.
this week too. That's gonna come out closer to Halloween or after Halloween. But yeah, it was my mistake. I apologize. But go check out the episode Emperor's New Groove. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
You did do a great impression. Can you give us that Kronk impression again real quick?
Yeah. Right. I don't know. Do you guys know Patrick Warburton? It's
They
funny.
can't even hear you, dude. It's all good.
I can
it's
hear
so
you a
sad.
little
Yeah,
but
but for the impression, it's really
Poison,
tough. It's
poison.
Patrick
Goose,
Warburton.
goose, goose, goose.
It's hilarious. Loves the New Jersey Devils. So thank you for that. We accept your apology, although you didn't need to give one, as I was just in the middle of saying this whole family supports each other. And not just with shows or advertisers, but with businesses. Like everybody wants to see each other succeed. We're actually doing the original goal of Nobody's getting rich. We all just want to get comfortable. And that's what we do here. We help each other get comfortable.
But yeah, I just, again, with working at the landfill, I just see so much crap coming in. I don't want to throw any like main businesses
Of
under
course
the
not. We don't
bus,
bring anyone down.
But it is just this crap. And then this year, like many years, I really want to support local as much as I can with the holiday season and stuff. So it's just, it feels good to support someone that you know it's going to their family, and the products are quality, so they're not having to get thrown in the dump, 4 months later.
And this is a great time for us to talk about why we were over at Uncle Mike's yesterday, because we have a new show spotlighting businesses, local, hyper-local businesses in Saskatoon. We want to show people who you are, what you're doing, what you're putting out there, and we want to do it in the friendliest way possible. And I mean that as in making it as seamless and easy as possible, because that's what we're all about here, man.
But
Just
that's so
helping
cool.
out.
Then it's like a window to the city for viewers that aren't necessarily from Saskatoon, or
That's it.
people that don't get out as often. It's nice to see these different businesses. Like I always say, especially when I go down Quebec or whatever, I'm like, there's so many business here. I had
Even
no
in
idea.
his
Yeah,
mall,
I know. I
hey,
had
that's
no
the same thing.
idea. It just blows my mind. And yeah, so like having someone out there, having some boots on the ground or taking it to the streets, something like that.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's a great song. By the way, if you have a business, or if you have an organization or a show idea or anything, and you need some help pushing it, getting it out there, let us know. We even have a sweet jingle that I like to sing. Ready for it, boys? Here we go. I'm going to lose all my cue cards. I don't even care. DufferinAve.com. We just want to help you at DufferinAve.com. Give us a ring. DufferinAve.com. We have a lot of fun, and you will too at Dufferin Avenue.
That's DufferinAvenue.com.
All right, that was your punishment for screwing up earlier. Anyways, we love you and we want to help and support. That's the point of this.
Stop! He's already dead.
The quotes. All right, down to business. We do host a punk rock podcast, but it's so much more than just punk rock, called the All Out of Angst podcast. You can Google it anywhere. It's an audio-only show that we do before this live show. So if you are listening to this audioly as well, I wanted to bring up our shirts because we tease them on the podcast. You, my friend, before we get into the concert on Friday, tell us what you're wearing.
Okay, no big deal. So
Boy, is your face red.
Okay,
This is
so-
awesome. Here we
yeah,
go.
so-
Should I get a zoom? Want me to zoom on it? Watch
May
me.
as well.
I'll zoom
Like,
that.
look
I'll
at
zoom the
that.
hell out of
This
this.
is vintage.
Oh, there
So
you go.
my
Okay.
my buddy,
It's horrifying.
Norm, he hooked us up with like these old 80s trucker Megadeth and Anthrax hats, and then like some of this cool like horror memorabilia. Obviously, I cut
I was gonna say,
cut the sleeves off myself.
I hope you cut those.
But yeah, it's pretty sweet, and I felt we're leading up to Halloween.
Halloween,
So
it's
yeah.
spectacular.
And yeah,
Tis
like
the season.
Aaron is the authority when it comes to all things horror movies and
loves
stuff. So
Halloween.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice
Now,
to.
is Nightmare on Elm Street 4
Yeah.
your favorite one?
I would not say so.
Okay.
I would say probably. Again, I'm not the authority when.
No, of course, that's why I asked.
But I like the Dream Warrior. I think that's the third because it's got Dawkins on the soundtrack. So yeah,
Sick.
I got.
And that's the one where they realize, oh, we're in our own dream. It's like the Keanu Reeves in
Yeah.
The Matrix. I know Kung Fu. They're like, well, we're in our own dreams. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And then they sort of
Yeah,
fight back
yeah.
superpower.
But again, yeah, I like everything, but I'm not the one that you need to ask about
That's
this
fair.
stuff.
If you're wearing the shirt,
I'm a poser, okay? Jeez. What do you want me to say?
give me Freddy Krueger's real name, asshole.
bag.
Yeah, that's good. No, very, very awesome shirt. As we've talked about numerous times, I'm not a big horror film guy, as in they make me pee my pants and I can't handle them. I always say if I want to be scared, I'll just look at my bank account or get into a relationship. So I don't need movies to do that to me. But I understand why people would enjoy that rush of adrenaline, thinking like they're going to die. So I get it. Uncle Mike, what are you wearing today, bud?
I'm wearing a classic Uncle Mike's T-shirt. It is many of these T-shirts occupy my wardrobe.
They're great.
I have
Same as around here, too.
yeah.
I got
there's
one
a
right
few-
here. I
a
wore
few
one.
kicking around.
I wear
yes.
them everywhere.
Yeah.
I have them in different rooms of the house.
The front
It's
pocket's
one
a
I
game
got.
changer, though.
I mean,
like that's, yeah.
yes.
Great for hanging a mic on.
Yeah. You can put your pen
That's
in
what we
there,
learned.
put your mic in there.
It's a lot of sweet merch.
Can't
Can't wait to showcase that.
Yeah, pack of
Really show it
cards
off.
in there for all your magic tricks. I actually started doing a lot of the pocket tees couple years ago, I guess, and yeah, really dig them. Really dig them.
They're really good for what you do. You know what I mean? Like for a
Yes.
working man, they're perfect.
Yep.
My dad always has a pocket, and he always has a protector in there, always with everything he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just talking pencil or pen. Like I'm talking air gauge for your tires.
There
I'm
you go.
talking the flashlights.
Yep.
Like little ones, bigger ones.
Or like a little
it's all in
single
there.
mini screwdriver
Exactly.
or something.
Fix your glasses real quick.
Yep.
It's all there.
Yep.
I love those pocket
I
protectors.
think I got a piece of gum in here right now.
Nice.
Never know when you're gonna need a piece of gum.
Saving it for later.
Yeah.
That's very good. And you guys all noticed what I got going on.
No big
Yes.
deal.
Peep it. Roll them bones, baby. And you know what the funniest part about all this is? It's the only Rush shirt I own, and I couldn't name a single song off the album. I know the album, but it's not in my rotation of the 4 that I listen to every Tuesday night.
Right.
So I couldn't even tell you about Roll the Bones. I'm sure I know songs on them, but I don't know the names of them. But how sick is that shirt? I got this shirt for my birthday at West Edmonton Mall. And I also got my Mastodon shirt at the same time. And I also got my NHL 94 undies on that same trip to the
Nice.
mall. So sort of a good birthday that week.
Yeah.
So now everyone knows, except for the people listening audibly, what we're wearing. Very cool. I guess they would still understand. They just wouldn't have a visual of it.
Right.
Either way, we went to a concert on Friday night. I don't know why I'm smacking my sweet, beautiful Bradley. So I'm going to run this one by you, and this is pretty crazy. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. Growing up as Pennywise fans and learning the story behind the song Bro Hymn, which obviously they will close every show with because it transcends punk rock. I got to give you an idea how big Bro Hymn is. We tricked my boss into allowing us to play it on the radio because of how it transcends. I said, boss, it's not punk rock. It's not this or that. It's a tribute to our brothers that have fallen. Like it's so much more than just a song. And over the years, I've always wondered who's going to be, like, how long is it going to take for me to actually hear this song at a funeral? When's it going to happen? Because I knew once it does, it would break me. Because that's like, it's not just the one person's funeral, it's all the brothers before. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It'd be that
absolutely,
jump
yeah.
off point. So here we are on Friday night, and Pennywise finishing up their set, and we're going to close it out with Bro Hymn. And I'm like, this is incredible. Like, it was a very emotional connection made to a very powerful song. And sure enough, the very next day in the afternoon, I went to say goodbye to my sweet, beautiful Bradley. I just showed him again. Showed him yesterday. I'll show him again because he's such a sweet, beautiful prince. I called him Doc Brown because first time I ever met him, he was wearing a yellow rain jacket, and he looked exactly like Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
1.21 gigawatts.
So I'd always quote it to him, say, "Hey Doc, the Libyans, Marty," and quoting the movie, having a blast. But he had this big yellow jacket that made him look like Doc Brown. So for the rest of his life, he was Doc Brown to me. But then at his funeral, I realized everyone had different names for him. B-Rad, Is-Rad was another one that we used on him. That was from Workaholics, which is a very funny story. But this was the funeral. Oh, nice. See? Things that Gary orders when he's high. How sick would it be to have the license plate from Back to the Future, bro?
But man,
It should
that's a great purchase.
That's what I thought. Everyone chirped me for it.
It should just
I'm
be
just having to show it
constantly
off again.
spinning
Spinning,
around,
like,
maybe
Yeah.
Put it on
smoking a little bit or
rotation
something.
and
Yeah,
have a little
there you
fire
go.
come
There
up.
you
That's
go.
the way. Okay, maybe we can dangle
That's how
it
you
from the
display.
ceiling. So, anyways, Doc Brown, we're at his funeral over at the veterans, the Legion.
Legion,
It's the Army, Navy, Air Force downtown. And sure enough, he was a punk rock. I love Dropkick, big Boston Bruins fan, and love Pennywise. And his bros, man, like all of his closest bros, got up in front of the funeral, and I knew it was coming too. Like I didn't know, but I knew, because I talked to a couple of people who were speaking before and all that. And I didn't shed a single tear until Bro Hymn played. And to hear that song being played in that environment, holy moly. Like I don't want to do that again for a long time. I was sitting with my whole family, my whole family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, my in-laws, my uncles, aunties, all that. And about 20 seconds in, I'm singing every word, and every word is hitting. Oh God. To the point where, yeah, here we go, and there's just, and out come the emotions. And I don't think there's any questions to present to you guys here, really, except for how powerful, not just that song, but what makes a song powerful? We didn't talk about going into this, but we've talked about connections through music. Do you know any other song that could really ruin a guy at a funeral like that one, just because it's not normally played at funerals?
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a tribute to our friends that have died. I don't know if there's anything out there. I know I'm just throwing stuff at you here, but I wondered how long it would take, and it finally sort of happened to me, and it opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. So this is more of a just me talking thing, but it finally happened, and now it's like, okay, that's what that was like. It was one of those things I thought I would hopefully never have to deal with, and then you do. So,
Well, it's crazy that it came directly after seeing them.
Yeah,
That's that probably
I think
makes
that's what
it
it was,
even
right?
more.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like my buddy Matt Berg, shout out to the great Matt Berg, bought me a ticket and took me there, and he was at the funeral as well, him and his mom and dad. And hello to the Bergs, love them all. And just to be surrounded by that, it was so crazy. I was doing great. I was high fiving, like Allison, Brad's wife, and Annika, his daughter. Like I was like hugging them, and we were like smiling and stuff. And then the second that song hit, just everything derailed.
Yeah, I guess with like we always talk about DeLorean songs, and with these things, like that's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
part of it too. Is like you're hearing that song in this context now, but you're probably in the back of your mind thinking about, at your place, Friday nights, or your arm around buddy or whatever.
it.
So it just you get bombarded with all these feelings and that this song's brought to you. And I think for any one of us at that time period, that was a huge song. And
Yeah,
again, we
and it
all
stays with
yeah.
you.
Like I know I kind of learned how to do that, like minor, that piano part or whatever, kind of when I heard that, because I was like, that's the sweetest thing ever and it's so beautiful. But yeah, I imagine that would have been, pretty heavy.
Well, and now it will maybe
Hit different.
hit it a little
Yeah.
different, right? 'Cause
And that's
it's
like, have you
even
ever
one
like
step
have you
closer.
guys had anyone that's played that song at a funeral yet?
Not that song.
No?
Had a one.
We don't want to get too
Yeah,
sad
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I just wanted to touch on that, and it's almost good to know in a sense, in a very simple sense, that hey, you can still feel things. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Well,
Like, you
and
gotta
it's-
focus on the positives.
I mean, the hope is to never have to go to a funeral of your buddy that is, your same age.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess obviously, I think just that much harder when it's a younger person that is.
And it wasn't fair to me to throw any of this at you guys. I just wanted to sort of get that out, and just hopefully there's some sort of message in there
Mhm.
from that, because every time you go to one of those things being a funeral, like life changes, obviously. Like everything changes and everything keeps changing. And as you know, I fear change more than most. I'm not a big fan of change, so sort of when you talk it out, it gets a little bit better. As we are hanging out with the All That Angst podcast crew here on your show, new episode every Thursday, dropping audibly anywhere you get your audio podcasties, and you can just Google it. Apparently, I'll take it there. I think I see Royal Anders in the house. Royal Anders! Oh, my sweet. You got a
Hello,
haircut?
Les.
I'm
You got
noticing a haircut.
Yeah. Just your ears
God, you look
lowered.
good. I wish you would come on the TV so everyone could see how nice your hair looks. So, getting back to the concert. Not only was Brohim played, the first, I think all the songs you missed, I didn't even know. So I think it was
really?
newer stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. But we got Society, I think you said
Yeah,
when you came in.
I think that's when
Yeah.
we walked in,
Yeah,
maybe
and
halfway
then-
through ish.
Oh, I didn't send the video. I have a video of the Circle Pit. We spent the entire All That Angst podcast talking about the Circle Pit. And we sort of came up with the 5 commandments to, succeed with your Circle Pit. And I'm very proud of that because it was very good. It was very in-depth and it was very cool. But the song F Authority, one of my favorite songs. Dare I say the song I have drank more alcohol to than any other song in my life? Because whenever it would get into the hook of, F Authority, side of the majority, and then raise my system, you do the whole thing, and then open your eyes, crack. When it goes to frustration, domination, feel the rage, and regenerate, that's when we would chug. And we
Okay.
listen to that song about 20 times a night.
That's a few drinks.
Yeah. So I was having a lot of sweaty flashbacks to F Authority. But the Circle Pit that went on, I was telling Berg, I was like, dude, look, they're doing it right, and nobody's nobody's karate kicking and people are helping each other out. It looked like a legit circle pit, which got us to talking about all that. Your thoughts on the show as a whole, because I was only there for the Pennywise. I didn't get anything else. What would you say about that? Because it was a great time, the Pennywise part.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get a free ticket as well.
We got lucky.
So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did miss, I guess, the first half of Pennywise.
I wish I knew what the songs were. Berg knew them all. Pennywise was one of his favorite bands, so he was.
Yeah, I mean, I like, what is it? I'm like Full Circle. I'm privy to the songs on that, as well as what's the other one with the bomb on it? Doesn't have a.
It's the only other one I know.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
About Time?
About Time.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the ticking or the clock bomb, whatever. But yeah, I mean, enjoyed. I mean, and actually, I was corrected. The last time I saw Pennywise was at Louis, but that was not the last time they were here.
Here we go.
So my whole time frame, what I thought was like 8 or 10 years ago, was actually like maybe 12 or 15 years ago. So I was, because I had multiple people at that show corroborate what I think I was. Challenging you guys on maybe in talks here the last times, and apparently my memory is just terrible. And
So was it the Odeon one?
The Odeon was the
Yeah.
last show that they were.
With the circle jerks.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
But I was thinking it was Louis with. I still don't know who they came with, but anyway. That being said, I was corrected. I admit my incorrectness.
Everybody's just putting all of our incorrectness out there today. I like this.
So yeah, apparently the memory ain't as good as it used to be, but that's fine.
How did Dropkick?
Dropkick. It was good. I only owned one album, and it was their first album. They played one song off of it, and I guess what I find with bands that I'm still going to see that I've been listening to for 30 years is that they've kind of, for the most part. Yes, they maybe have a new album out, but they know what people want to listen to, right? They want to listen to the older albums. So usually when I go to a show, it's like, oh, sweet. They're playing all the old stuff, and they sprinkle a few new things in there. Whereas with Dropkick, and again, I don't know their whole discography, so some of them might have been older stuff, but guaranteed there was a lot of new stuff. There was one guy, they're in the middle of playing a song, and he kind of reaches out for people to sing the lyrics, and a guy's like, play Rose Tattoo, like in the middle,
No.
And
So
I'm
he
like,
reads to the mic for him to sing.
yeah, and
says,
he's like,
"Play a different song,"
play Rose Tattoo. And it's
For
like,
a second, I
dude, you're
thought he was doing like a trombone thing or whatever, because I was like, he played the trombone. That's great.
or maybe it was shipping out to Boston. But anyway, he's like thinking
Well,
that
yeah.
he's gonna sing some lyrics,
Yeah.
and all this guy wanted to hear was, the newest song, or I don't even know if it's the newest song off the newest album, because it's, so it was a little etiquette faux pas maybe on his part, kind of thing.
On the singer or the
No,
the
on
crowd?
the fan,
But what do you expect out of like drunken hooligan? Like, I don't know.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, again, enjoyable show. But I don't know. It had a different vibe, and maybe because Dropkick has been featured in some sports songs, and they've kind of gotten a little more popular. I don't know, a little more mainstream. It just seemed a little different.
And in general, like seeing a punk show at an arena,
That's
it's
it.
like really weird.
Yeah, that
I've
was
only
it.
seen it for like the festivals, where you're seeing like 20-minute sets of all these bands.
right.
But like seeing full sets of the bands at a arena concert, I think would be weird in and of itself.
Yeah, and again, fortunate to get a ticket. It was in a box, so we were, the furthest
Eating
away.
caviar.
Yes, bloody dog, look at me, I'm in
hand
the
served
box.
champagne and
Yeah.
You
caviar.
put your little finger up and you're
I
sipping
definitely did.
your espresso.
Get this disgusting Dasani water out of here and bring me my Fiji.
What is this, tap water?
Yeah, disgusting.
Bring me my Perrier.
So big thanks to Theo for the tickets.
Hey, here we go.
And
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
there was, a couple beers there and a
So did
ticket
they-
for me, so it was
What
great.
was the song they played that you knew?
No, I'm not going to remember how it.
Shipping up to
the
Boston?
name of it.
Probably shipping up to
no,
Boston?
it's
It wasn't Spicy McHaggis, Jake, was it? Because that's one of my faves.
no.
Love Spicy McHaggis.
I don't know. It was off their first album. I mean,
I
you're
just
gonna
wanted
put
to
me
do a
on the
little
spot.
sing.
I
It's
need to
fine. I just
recall
wanted to do a
it.
sing-along.
I was singing. I mean, it was the only one that I could really sing. I mean,
I had a
could
feeling
sing along to Rose Tattoo.
like
and
that's
Shipping Up to
that's
Boston,
why I
but
left after Pennywise. I had a feeling it was going to be like that.
it's
It's not the same dropkick that we grew up
no,
with. It's a totally
no,
different band.
No, and then some of their new stuff, like where me and my buddy went there with another buddy who kind of got the ticket for me through another buddy, and we kind of look at each other and like, didn't they just play this? But it was basically like the exact same arrangement of a song that they had just kind of played, and it was. It just felt a little. It was like, wait a second, it's just like a little slightly different tempo kind of thing, and it was just like, oh, this is like, are they just kind of regurgitating some stuff, or, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was an enjoyable time, but not one of my top shows. Yeah. And again, I feel I have that feeling any show at SAS Place, SaskTel Center, whatever, those bigger venues they're just a little different.
Especially for punk rock.
Yes.
I find.
Yeah.
Like certain heavy metal bands and rock bands, it works good because
Stadium
you
tours.
want to have the pyro and the confetti cannons and all the good stuff.
Yeah, and this didn't have, that stage presentation.
Well, they have the
some
whole
of the
top
bigger
bowl.
shows.
They have the whole top bowl closed off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So like even then,
already it kind of takes the energy out
right?
when you're
That's what I'm
not
trying to
walking
say.
into a full arena.
Yeah.
Like the decibel of the crowd is going to be much lower.
so why do you think they do that? Like,
Why
do you
did
think
they
do you think
pick this venue?
Yeah,
It
well,
wa-
not even that. Like, so I get it. You're doing your Dropkick Murphys. You're doing a stadium tour. That's great. Why do you do you think they went in saying we want the top closed off, or did they go in thinking we're going to fill the whole thing? That was sort of a
Yeah,
adjustment by our good
I'm
buddy Scott Ford
assuming
and the team
that
at
they
SaskTel
had
Center.
different projections for how many tickets they were going to sell. That
So
would be
that's
my
sort
guess.
of out of their hands. Yeah.
I was still surprised when I saw that they were playing SaskTel Center.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
And it like there was people there. I mean, it definitely wasn't full or sold out.
Yeah.
I think it probably could have fit into Odeon or what is it, Coors Event Center now, something like that, or like Wheatland, or
Ooh, yeah,
I mean, I think
Prairieland.
that's the last time
Prairieland would have been
I
great.
saw, or Prairieland. I think
Yeah.
the last time I saw them, that's
Yeah,
where
it
they
was
were.
there. I remember that one.
Um,
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, now I want to transition to what we were talking about with the Hall of Fame stuff. Anything else you want to say about?
No, I
about the
feel
concert?
pretty good. I wasn't there, so I really
It felt like you were there.
Well, honestly, like my buddy, my superintendent from the landfill, actually,
Super Nintendo.
yeah, Super Nintendo Jesse Anderson,
Jesse, yeah.
called me up when I was jamming with Ravenwitch, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come? I got a ticket." And I was like, I'm kind of and yeah, I was just,
That's the way she goes.
it's the way she goes, boys.
Hanging out with the All Out of Angst podcast crew, new show every Thursday for you wherever you find your Audible podcasts as well. They do the Tuesday thing here on your show every week as well, as we love to check in with Uncle Mike and Matt from all the bands. There was another thing. I want to read this properly because you worded it very well in this. The thought of, I guess I'll just, I'll let you take it away. Tell us about Ozzy Osbourne.
Well,
and the
yeah,
Hall
I
of
just
Fame
wanted to
party.
talk because he
Yes.
was recently inducted
this is
into
very
the
interesting.
rock and roll. I believe he is already in with Black Sabbath.
He has
right?
to be,
Yeah.
right? He's Ozzy.
But this was for his solo stuff, and obviously his health isn't to the point right now where he can be performing, unfortunately. So they did the kind of 8-minute kind of montage, or whatever.
Tribute?
Put 3 songs together. So started off with Crazy Train, and John Maynard Keyes or whatever, the guy from Tool, the singer, again comes in. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because they're all doing a way better job than I would ever do. I'm just saying, everyone thinks that Ozzy Osbourne would be easy to cover or whatever, most of the vocalists, and came in and he did it with like a cleaner, like, crazy, that's how it goes. And it was just like, kind of took all the balls out of it. And it just, to me, again, he was doing a good job, but I felt like if I was trying to tell someone like Crazy Train's an amazing song, you need to hear it, and then I played that version, they'd be like, I don't know.
Wouldn't be as amazing.
And then the next one was Jelly Roll, and he did Mama, I'm Coming Home. And I thought out of the three, he was the best, and because he's got that like soulful voice, and I feel like I assumed he had unlimited power, but when he was at the end, you know, Mama, I'm Coming Home, there was a couple where I was just like, kind of thin. Like I was expecting like it was just going to be like I was going to be blown
Full,
like
yeah.
like a Chris Stapleton, because you know, or like that like country kind of husky.
So sorry,
Yeah.
question about Jelly Roll. Is he a rapper? Is he a country,
country guy.
I think
He's
he's
a country
a
guy.
country
Okay.
guy. I know there's that. Yeah,
Wow,
I know
he doesn't really rock. He's a country
it
guy.
seems country, but yeah, like his voice is great, and I've like heard him do other covers and even his own music, and I really like his voice. But I was like, he just didn't quite pull it off. And then Billy Idol did. I can't think of the song off the top of my head. I think it was No More Tears. But you'd think Billy Idol, he's got that powerful kind of in the same range. But again, once it got to those higher notes, it was you could tell he was struggling, and it was like that's three really fantastic vocalists, and Ozzy Osbourne kind of
still out?
yeah. So like, what is it about his voice that's so like difficult to recreate?
I will say this, and this is going back to my old days and my prior job. I would have to try to explain to people that Jelly Roll was a rock and roll guy, a rock guy, and I got told to kick rocks every single time. So I just stopped trying to say, like, yeah, you're right, he's a country guy. They just want us to play him. That's why I say he's country. I don't just say that without any basis or
Yeah.
any like reasoning. It's to the point where we were playing a Jelly Roll song, and it was on the New Music Radar, and it was 3 years old, and it was a country song. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and that was sort of when I realized, yeah, this isn't for me type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big fan of just putting misinformation out there. So definitely a country guy. But man, my mom loves Jelly Roll, and the dude can sing, and his story is incredible.
Yeah, I have.
Like, dude came straight off the streets.
Yeah.
And just like, all right, I've done enough on the street stuff. That's good. Let's get big now.
Yeah,
And he's got found and blew up.
Yeah, but I've heard like stuff like live performances of his where I've
Incredible.
had the
Incredible,
goosebumps
yes.
and you
The
know
dude
the
can
hairs.
sing.
So
And
that's
that
why I was
takes
just
it
kind of
back, yeah.
I was kind of like, man, that's crazy. I was expecting a bit more. Like the one thing that out of everything, Wolfgang Van Halen doing Randy Rhoads solo for Crazy Train, he nailed it. But that guy,
He's so
he can do
good.
no wrong.
Dude,
Like,
he
he's-
plays everything, hey? Like, his whole album was just him playing every instrument.
And the thing is, like, he has to deal with everyone being like, "Oh, you're just, you know, Eddie Van Halen's son,"
the
and he, you know, and they're like, you know, he got dogged a bunch about, you know, using the Van Halen name. He's like, "That's literally my name." Like,
And not only that, he changed it to just the initials
yeah,
after, so they wouldn't
yeah,
have to
and
say
I
Van
think it was
Halen.
even like called Mammoth for a bit,
Yeah,
or you know,
Mammoth,
yeah.
whatever it
But
is.
either
FC
way, it's
or-
like that guy. I like he seems like a good guy. He works hard and he's talented. Like, what else do you want? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he should have to prove himself anymore.
So let's get into the meat of your question here. What is it about Ozzy that makes it so hard to cover his voice?
Because I would say the one is in general because it always has that grit, like it's kind of getting yelled at you. So when you're using that part of your voice, you know, and you try and go up past your natural register, it can make some really disgusting sounds and you know, make some great singers sound not so great. So I would say that's one thing is like just the way he sings is very unique to his style. And, you know, even when he's playing live, I'm sure there's been times where he's butchered some of his songs.
Oh, yeah,
I know
for sure.
that
Yeah.
happens or whatever, but it's just that tough to do. I know that the keys that they're picking where, you know, there's like a decent part where you know you can feel comfortable, and then it hits that last high note, and it's just a little too high with the power
So
singing.
close, so
And
close.
then you have to throw in the fact that those albums are hyper produced, where you've got everything probably is ran through auto tune, not like T-Pain auto tune, but you know, just like actual auto tune.
auto-tune.
And then there's the multiple layers of harmonies that are put in that they're like super low, so you don't really notice them, but they're there.
They're
So
there,
I think
yeah.
all those things, you know, factor in.
Yep.
And now, with that in mind, we can sort of broaden the horizon of that question. Other artists that are hard to cover, and we can tie this right back into that show on Friday, as Pennywise was teasing. They're talking about NoFX fans. Any NoFX fans here? Oh, hell yeah, brother. We love NoFX.
Did they play a NoFX song?
They played 3 short ones.
I thought that was
And-
because I was just reading the set list and I was like, oh, maybe this is from the
They
NoFX
did
final
it.
show.
They
That's
jumped in.
cool.
So they gave him a shout out for hanging it up, and then they straight up said, if we were to come back to Saskatoon and do an entire NoFX show, would you come? Instantly, I'm like, yep, I am in.
Oh, 100%.
Totally. And then they went on and played their songs, the NoFX songs, and they were all amazing. What they do? They did Bob. They did not Linoleum. They did Bob. They did The Bruise, and there was one other one in the middle that they Kill All the White Men.
I obviously missed all of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, see, unfortunately for you, because it was like one of the highlights of the show. And just the way they sang it was incredible. And the idea that they would come back and not do a Pennywise show, but do a NoFX show with them like being Pennywise, but it would be a NoFX show, not a Pennywise show. I love the idea to bring back another band like that. And the singer was nailing
He was nailing it, hey?
nailing it. And Fat Mike is very hard. We've talked about it's very hard on the reverse side because it's so distinct and so different and so not good that it's hard to cover if you're a really good established
I
musician.
could see that being a good match because Pennywise has that same kind of. There's a lot of grit to it. It's
Yeah.
spit-fired vocals, and I could see how he pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
So
good to hear that he did because I was gonna say Fat Mike's definitely an example of someone that.
Well, we talked about it
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
That's another guy who you shouldn't be able to basically duplicate because of where it's coming from.
Yeah, and it's funny. I obviously didn't even know that they did some NoFX covers, but funny enough, I was having this thought at the show as Dropkick was on, and I was like, enjoying it, but like I was bummed I missed half of Pennywise's
Yeah,
set.
of course.
And I was like, I wonder if NoFX came to Saskatoon, would they get the same following that, like, even though I think NoFX is a much bigger band than Dropkick Murphys, they've been around longer, they've got more albums, I think they're a better band, but would the masses, like, do the same people that maybe listen to Dropkick and maybe, not as into similar stuff, would they be NoFX fans?
I don't think it would be as big.
I know.
And
That's kinda
again,
what
I
I'm
find
thinking.
sometimes Saskatoon can be a little bit fickle with thrash and punk, where like we'll go to something like I remember going to like a Black Label Society show, and there's just like, oh man, where are all these people of metal fans? I've never seen them. And then you go to like a killer thrash band or something, a seminal band that whatever, Testament or something like that. It's just really good bands that influenced lots of cool bands, and there'll be like a couple hundred people. There was more at this last one, but you know what I mean? There'll be like shows for thrash bands where there's only a couple hundred people and there should be thousands. So I don't know why that is, but I could see NoFX. Like obviously they're a pretty big band. I think definitely Odeon, but I don't know if you'd
Yeah.
be doing
The last
Saskatoon.
time they were here was at the Odeon or Coors Event Center, I believe. Well, the last one I was at in Saskatoon was there, and I know that because I waited in line to make sure that I got the spot. Like I was first guy in line. We had our crew.
Nice.
I was first guy. We spent the day drinking, and then went straight to that line the second that we thought a line would open, and we got front of the line, first person into the concert, and went straight upstairs to the balcony, got my spot,
Nice.
sitting right over top,
Yeah.
the best possible
That's the best spot,
in the
yeah.
building. And we had our signs for them to play songs that we wanted. We had everything. And that concert was is probably now, looking back, probably like the second best NoFX, maybe third best NoFX show I've seen. The first one was No Use for a Name and NoFX in Edmonton. And then the next one in Edmonton with the Going Away thing with the Descendants that you were part of. And then probably this one. But this one was great because that place was so packed. Like there was not, and I'm not talking like a seat in the house. I'm not talking room. Like I hadn't seen it that packed since it was illegally packed for, I think it was a small show, where it wasn't just packed on the floor, but it was packed all the way to the back and on top of the tables on both sides. Like you couldn't physically fit another human being in there. And just to have that environment. And that's why I wanted to get up talk, because I knew it was going to be like that. And I know, you know me, and people's like, oh man, there's lots of people here. So I hung out on the top balcony, got to see everything. I was comfortable, and it was such a great experience. So we know they can fill up the small ones, which is where the Pennywise show would have been, which where most of them should be. But when you transcend, like Dropkick, and not just from their association with the Boston Bruins, not just from their association with the NHL, but St. Patrick's Day as a whole. Like, that's why I can't listen to Dropkick anymore, because of St. Patrick's Day.
And they, like, I just kind of, again, noticing, maybe just with later albums, maybe my just hearing has changed. I don't know. They just kind of all sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I saw Real Mackenzie's, I think, a couple times over the last couple of years.
Same name, I haven't heard of
And
it. I
like,
those guys.
yeah, and like a similar kind of vibe,
yeah.
you know. But I would maybe lean towards Real Mackenzie's a little bit. Maybe
I think that's what
maybe
it
they're because they're Canadian too, so maybe
Yeah.
The
there's a little bit
same
of part
things
of
that
but-
make us dislike them are what make them so huge.
right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the disconnect.
Yeah.
Man, we're learning way too much today.
Yeah. Also, it was Barroom Hero that. Is
that what
they
you were
played.
looking
I
for?
had to Google it, and I'm like, I'm singing it in my head.
I was like,
no.
this guy even care about our conversation?
He's
right
a legend
now?
in the bar.
Just
with
phoning it
every
in.
Sky, the 100,000 men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a
so
Johnny
it's a good
Sperm
song, but
special
there's
right there.
there's
Yeah.
quite a few good songs on that album,
and
and
dude,
I'm
like-
just surprised they didn't
Like
play
Spicy McHaggis, Jake,
Yep.
is one of the funniest songs. Not just one of the best. Like, it's so funny. Like, always looking for chicks over 400 pounds. Like, and it's such a sing along, and it's like one of those, you know.
But
and
I think
They
that's-
all are
I think that's the thing, is that maybe a lot of Dropkick fans are new fans,
that's
right?
it,
And
yeah.
so they're playing new stuff that's more
Yeah,
current,
yeah.
or that's off new albums to
incredible.
please the masses.
Man, I love hanging out with you guys on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
We got a little bit more to go here on the Tuesday edition of your show, hanging out with the All That Angst podcast boys, that being Uncle Mike from All the Natural Products, as well as Matt from All the Bands. And we had a nice little update. I do want to circle back for a second. It sounds like we're going to get a Dufferin Avenue Media Network metal show, dare I say? Like, is there something we can put together for
Yes.
your three bands
Yes.
at some point
Yeah.
soon? 'Cause
Yeah.
I know, like you were just saying, you got EPs coming, you got new music coming. I feel like we can go on location. We got the signage. We can go right there in a bar and do this show and play it right into a show.
I think we should start
So we'll start
setting that.
negotiating
Yeah,
with
I
all
want
of
to
that and
start
get it all
setting
set up.
because we're getting to
We're
the
getting that
point where we
point.
can do that. So yeah.
So I'm very excited for that. That's just something I want to throw out there. So we've talked about the vocal stuff. I want to get back there a little bit. And are there any other vocalists you can think of that would be really hard to, I guess, duplicate? Like we're talking about going back to the Ozzy and the Hall of Fame stuff.
Or
This dog, man. She's always just licking away. Stop it. These cards. Andy, my cards won't flip properly. Sorry.
yeah, I'm trying. Off the top, like I know, like for the opposite side or whatever, you know, like I feel like the '80s, everyone heard Rob Halford, and they all were able, like not as good as Rob Halford, but they were
course.
all kind of able to go for that. Or even you'll hear a lot of people do like the Axl Rose voice pretty good or whatever. So yeah, but as far as vocalists that are tough, off the top of my head, I can't really think of any. But
Sebastian
but,
Bach?
But then that's new, or the second newest Skid Row singer, he really nailed it pretty good.
Touche.
But
Touche.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of
like,
singers that are
I know,
held in that regard.
like Erin, like from Raven, which the way her style is pretty like.
you could say your wife.
Yeah, my wife's vocals are because
That's so weird, like,
But again,
Erin
yeah,
from
yeah,
Raven
yeah,
Witch.
but yeah, like
Who is this you
the
speak
nature
of?
of it is it's power singing, and then you start adding on different things like wide vibratos.
vibratos,
Like
vibratos.
I bet Jello Biafra, he would be a guy that I bet you would be tough
there
to
you
sing
go.
something like
Yeah.
that, where he's got that really
Yeah.
crazy vibrato, and it's all, I don't know if it's sharp or flat, but it's one of them that's just
Something.
a little bit out. But if you were to try and sing along to it, I bet you it wouldn't be that easy.
Yeah. You were going to say there in my
No, I think we've talked about it before. Geddy Lee, just like it's
Yeah.
just that different sound, and I don't know if I've heard I don't know if I've ever heard a Rush.
You don't get too many Rush cover
Cover.
bands, do you?
like.
Because you really have to be freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
man.
And it's
like, you
like-
just have to be so. Basically, they get to like 2 songs and they're like, you know what, this is too hard. We just spent the last 3 years learning these 2 songs.
We're
done.
done.
I quickly have to jump. Okay, so my buddy Adrian Begrand, he's a writer. You know, he's putting stories for us in like Decibel magazine and all this stuff. But yeah, he just put out a new book called Cranking Up Rush or whatever, and it's kind of just like goes through their musical legacy, goes through. So it'd be interesting for someone that knows about the band, but also good for introducing.
Can we get him on this show?
Like do a Skype thing or something or
Yeah,
Zoom?
Zoom.
Yeah,
Would he
I
be
think
able to Zoom?
I'll message him and see if he
I'd
wants to do something.
love to just pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, because he's fantastic, and what a cool thing to get to do. I don't know all the we'd have to talk to him, but all the ins and outs of how you get the permission to write about this band and get to use their actual fonts and
Yeah,
stuff.
like if you're writing that book, you're obviously talking to Getty and Alex, right?
I
like,
would.
is that maybe? I guess I don't know anything
again,
about it.
well,
We'll
I
find out.
have not read the book. I'm just promoting it.
But another great thing, and that's very unique in that we're slowly turning into a place that helps promote authors. Like my buddy Cato, he's got a book that's out now. We got Adrian, the Canadian, he's got his book. Curtis Anderson, remember our friend? He's got his book. We're bringing in all these authors, man. We're promoting books. That's what we want.
But
I wanna
again,
promote
to go
good things.
back with the supporting local, supporting your
That's it.
buddies, and like this is everyone likes reading the autobiographies and
So good.
biographies of bands and stuff. And
Yeah.
my buddy wrote this one,
I love that.
and he's a fantastic writer.
Clearly, he wouldn't be writing a book if he wasn't. That's the one thing I will always give all the credit in the world to, is anyone who has actually made a book and put it out there, except for Network Ryan. His is just about painting, so I think we don't have to add his there. But everyone else who's made a book, that was a joke. He's got to check out his book, by the way. You can find it at cco.com. But just to have the balls to put yourself out there enough to publish a book, to be a published author, it takes so much work.
I struggle to form a
Oh,
few sentences
yeah,
together on this
right?
1 hour on a
Can
Tuesday.
you imagine being a Stephen King and putting out like 1,000 books, or whatever the hell he does?
No,
Right?
No, I can't.
We got to bring respect back to the book game. I feel like books are getting pushed aside a little bit. Like
Quick
books
question,
getting bullied.
a little clarification. What is the difference between an autobiography and a biography?
I feel like the one is written by the say whatever Getty Lee writes his own book or whatever.
and
It's
so
an
that's a
autobiography.
that's an autobiography.
I feel like that's an autobiography,
Okay.
where a biography would just be like someone else writing about the band. But again, this is just from my brain, which is a very unreliable narrator.
I get it wrong all the time. It's the same as fiction and nonfiction. I never remember which one is real. I don't know.
Just give me the one that's
Wait
about
for it.
science.
Dragon's got it.
Yes, yeah.
Lay it on us, dog. Hold on, say it in the mic. Eventually, you're going to end up moving that mic over there because you're going to be
Autobiography-
doing all this awkward stuff anyway.
One that drives itself.
Ooh,
All right, guys,
awesome.
it's Dragon back on the mic.
There he
A
is.
biography is an account of a person's life written by someone else. An autobiography is an account of a person's life written by that person.
I was
Nailed
close.
it.
That's
I
exactly,
think that
what,
was dead
exactly
on,
what
dude.
you said.
That was dead on.
See, and I would have thought
Oh.
it would have been
The other way.
The other way.
Yeah, me too.
You know, just
Crazy.
the
Crazy.
in the
Once in a
linguistics
while,
of it all.
it just
That
life
broken
works
watch,
out.
man.
Yeah, you could be an author.
Broken watch. So now, yeah.
To be fair, it's
That
called an
was
And I'm out.
obituary and not an auto-obituary.
a high note. Whoa.
Oh,
Why you got to bring obituaries into this? No, because you're not there. Yeah.
unless you pre-write it.
What if you pre-wrote?
Unless maybe you're a ghostwriter.
Or,
Great
oh,
show. That was a great. You guys ever watch Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider.
A ghost rider or
No,
ghost
Ghost Rider. There was an
writer.
actual
was- yeah.
TV show called Ghost Rider, and it was an actual ghost that wrote stuff. It was like a kid's show. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
okay, yeah.
And it had a
it's-
sweet, catchy song. Ghost Rider.
I vaguely remember the
really good.
The I
Yeah,
don't
the
know,
intro of
the
it?
intro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
I
too.
don't remember that one.
But Ghost Rider was one of my favorite comic book characters.
Unfortunately, the movies were garbage, eh?
They
Holy
were, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they remade like 'cause it was
tried that
Nicolas
4 times. I
Cage,
know.
and then they remade it with somebody else,
Yeah.
with Statham or something.
I would just
Probably
like to
that.
be
Even
like
worse,
in these
right?
business meetings when they're like, okay, I know we've tried.
done it.
We've tried 4 times already, but I really think if we do this one thing, we've got
We're gonna
something.
nail
here."
it this
Yeah.
time.
And we'll do it under 100 mil.
Yeah.
Practically writes itself. Print the money. Done. Movies, books.
Would that be
Let's go.
a moto biography then?
Probably, because it's got a motorcycle.
And
I
we got
still
all
don't-
the puns and
I'll
plays
leave
on
now.
words.
I'll leave now.
Do you know what? I just remembered the fiction and nonfiction by realizing that fan fiction is stuff that fans make up. So nonfiction must be the real.
You got it.
Correct. But it is, because when it's
Is
non.
he going to poop on it again? Should we even open that door?
I wouldn't.
Do you have a lock from this side?
I wish. What's going on there, cowboy? Are you going to open? You thought that was window opening worthy? Dragon, no THC goes into this body until the second the show is done. That is my one promise to myself, and that's how we got back on track after the great 2-month build fest. This thing it's like Burning Man for a year straight. It's crazy, but here we are. Sorry, that got a little personal.
A little
there.
out of hand there.
Yeah, but that was a very good talk. Fellas, this has been a lot of fun. Anything else you guys want to get to before we get to Frankie's Fingers? Anyone got anything cool or exciting coming up? Hey, damn promo code? Damn 20 still going?
Damn 20.
Damn
Still
20.
going. Save
Woo.
20% by using the promo code
Did you
damn
use the
20
promo
at
code today when you went?
UncleMike'sNatural.com.
Unfortunately, I didn't because I went in and Mike was like,
probably
"Yo, I
already
can
gave
do
you a
something,"
deal,
and
yeah.
I was just like, "I really
He'll do
came in
that.
here to support you." Like I want.
He won't let you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we love him
But
so
yeah,
much.
then he hooked me up with a bunch of additional swag, and now I've got matches or whatever for
Hell yeah.
after the show if anything needs to be lit or
My guy
anything.
gets it. That's it. This makes me very, very happy. Sorry, I cut you off. You were going to say something?
Oh, I've forgotten about it.
Oh, okay, then
Forgotten a lot
I don't
today.
know. I was I think I didn't fall asleep till about 1, and then I was up at about 5:15 and couldn't fall back asleep. So then I just got up and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? It's like 5:45. I'm like, I'm gonna go out to the garden. I'm planting garlic, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna start prepping this bed for planting garlic. Mana comes out about 6:30. She's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, because we usually walk the dog about 6:30. She's like, how can you even see? It's like, well, you just kind of go by feel, you know. I'm spreading some compost on the beds, and it's like, it's dark, but when you put the compost on, it gets a little darker in that spot. So then you just kind of keep going with
Good
that.
for you for getting up. I do that all the time, and I never just take the plunge. I was like, I'll probably fall back asleep. I'll probably be able to do it. I never do.
My problem is because I know myself that if I try to I'll force it, and had it been 2 a.m., I probably would have fallen asleep. But it's 5:15. I'm gonna
You're
wake
too
up in an
far at that
hour
point.
anyways,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna fall asleep, and I'm gonna wake up 10 times more tired than I was
And
initially.
late for whatever
right?
the heck else
Yeah.
is going up.
And
behind.
so it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'll just take advantage of the extra hour in the day and try to get some shit done, because by the time the day is over and then I try to go do some work, then it's dark again.
The
or
manliest
I'm
man
less
to ever man.
But I was doing some mic training this weekend with the tires and using the circular saw. I can't even say it. I'm like, am I allowed to say that?
And you still have all your fingers.
Hey! On that note, speaking of fingers, what do you say? You got it. All right, boys, we have 2.5 minutes to play us out. Another great episode of your show here on the Dufferin Avenue Media Network inside the Sauter Concrete Services Clubhouse. I want to take this time to say thank you to all of our pals, all of our friends who continue to help this movement grow and become something that we can all be very proud of. As so much positivity comes out of this place. And it's because of people like this. It's because of the Bamford Bros who were in here earlier. It's because of our friend Emily May, who's starting a new show with Dragon, involving this guy, Uncle Mike. You're going to see more on that coming up. It's like the Royal Landers who show up here, and I send him a couple texts, and he gets stuff done like that. And there's not even for me. It's Network Ryan that's doing it. And I'm just like, nobody talks Royal Landers but me, because that's my baby. I don't want him to be, bombarded with anything. Like, there's the thoughtfulness that comes with this place and this family. It's so beautiful. And I hate to just keep, being all, what do we call it? Emotionally? Is that it? No. Feelingsy. But it's true. And we're at that point now where we continue to grow bigger and bigger, and we're looking to help more and more people, and we want to make sure we can help you as well. So be sure to reach out and let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And with that in mind, I spend most of my time just trying to ignore these guys because it's always way too good. I was talking about it earlier. We talk about karma and the importance of doing good things so they'll happen to you. I've tried to do a lot of really, really good things, and this is sort of what's come from that. So it's literal living proof for you. So remember that. When you go out into the super scary, super spooky world that we all have to share, just know that there's a lot of good as well. And we tend to try to gravitate towards that. It's just the best. Point is, karma's very real, all right? Do good things, and they will happen to you. That's just how the universe works. I'm not going to say another thing. I'm just going to let this play itself out. You guys are beautiful, and I love you.